STARBORN. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Life in a Bubble. And that is because of the way the planets are positioned right now. The very strong Sun in Taurus, along with Mercury, is harshly squaring the Moon today in Aquarius. These are two fixed signs. Taurus is a fixed financial sign, ruling how you make your money and what you invested in. And it's an earth sign, so it's very practical and realistic. But Aquarius rules the future. It is a fixed sign, but it is an air sign, so it's very creative, and its ruler is Uranus. And since the Moon is there and the lights, the Sun and the Moon, are squaring each other, and Mercury is in Taurus too, squaring that Moon, it simply means that there is the possibility that some people can be sort of living life in a bubble right now. And that is because of the things that Aquarius rules. Aquarius rules not only the future, but things ahead of their time. It rules sudden, surprising change, and it rules invention. That is why it's a fixed sign, because if you're going to invent something, you've got to sort of keep tinkering with it until finally something works out well for you. And so you need to stick with it. But Aquarius also rules anything that goes through the air, such as electricity. It certainly rules streaming media, and it rules computers and all electronics and technology, and it rules aviation and space and satellites. And it also rules freedom and rebellion as well, because remember, it rules sudden, surprising change. And so any of the things that Aquarius rules could denote life in a bubble. And that is because in this day and age, there has been a tremendous amount of wealth amassed by people who are in the field of technology. And so with their wealth, their very own money, they are going ahead and developing plans and ideas that they have for the future. Well, it's their money. They have a right to do that. But the problem is, or I think what it means by the Sun in Taurus squaring that Moon in Aquarius today, is that there is no real cost analysis being done about their plans and their ideas and whatever they're inventing. And so without knowing what the demand is for something, sooner or later, there's got to be some sort of test of whether something is profitable or not. However, maybe they just want to spend their own money developing new things and sort of seeing what happens. But if they are smart business people, which I think they are, or they wouldn't have made so much money, they need to do something about determining whether there is a demand for whatever they're inventing or going after, or whether it will be profitable. For example, how many people can actually afford space travel? How many of them can afford to go to the Moon, or perhaps one day venture forth and go to Mars? So is it really something that fits in yours and my budget? Well, no. And so sooner or later, something has to come down to Earth, or else the bubble will burst. And for example, how many people want drones and robots in their homes and their neighborhoods? Because after all, where does privacy end and spying begin? So there is a moral or an ethical question involved in things that are right now just living life in a bubble, but sooner or later, they're either going to dissipate or they're going to become something relevant in all of our lives. But we're not there yet. It's just that there's a lot of money being poured into brand new things without any real practical cost analysis done, not only about the profitability, but the demand for whatever is being invented right now. And so we have to really think hard about that, because actually there are some very good aspects going on right now. And the good aspects are in the air signs. So that Moon in Aquarius is being trined beautifully today by Mars in Gemini, and also by Jupiter in Libra. And that means there can be a lot of chatter, a lot of talk, a lot of communicating going on right now. And what that really means is that there's an awful lot of ideas that are sort of galloping forward like a headless horseman into futuristic projects. And I'm not complaining about that. That could be wonderfully exciting. And the titans of technology are using their own money, which they have a right to do. But in the end, whatever comes out of all of this, who is really going to pay for it? And where is the demand for what's going on? And also, how long does life in a bubble last? Because the true test of a good idea is whether it's affordable or not, whether it's going to catch on, whether we all want to buy it. And we don't really know that. That's why I'm saying life in a bubble, it doesn't really last too long. And when a bubble is poked or pricked and it bursts, then the life in that bubble dissipates or disintegrates. And that is not a pretty picture at all. So the one thing we do have to keep our eyes on is how much our long-term security is going to cost us. We can't afford to lose sight of that. So even in a day and age when there is so much new innovation going on at a high level, and it is being paid for by people who have great vision, still this sun and moon square today in fixed signs, and fixed signs do not budge, simply means that there can be people around that are insisting that things have to come down to earth, that there has to be a reason why you pour a lot of money into something. And there's got to be some analysis done of demand and profitability, or at least the potential for that. Otherwise, something is going to go awry, something could burst. So this is a time when you and I can cheer on those titans of industry in their vision, and besides, they're spending their money, not our money. But on the other hand, we have to be really careful and understand that every new thing could have some drawbacks. And as I'm saying, where does the privacy end and the spying begin? That is something that we need to think about and be practical as we're looking at future projects. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, you can certainly be involved with something new and innovative, because Uranus, that planet that does rule Aquarius, and the very sudden surprising change is in your sign, and so is Venus. Those are the only two planets in your sign now, and they are being trined beautifully by Saturn in Sagittarius. So either you're going to have a chance to go back to something that is familiar to you from your past and do very well with that, or it can be that you have the support of people that you've known before, and they can be guiding you towards something brand new. So that would be great. I do think that you should head for new things, Aries. First of all, because that's what your sign rules, and you love new beginnings, and you're very good at them. And also, Pluto in Capricorn is squaring your sun sign, and Jupiter in Libra is opposing it. And so there are some challenges that you've had for most of this year that are really not going to go away. Jupiter will move on, but Pluto is going to remain in square to your sun for years to come. And that represents changes in management or policies that can prove to be quite challenging to you. And that's why I suggest, if you get a sudden chance to make a new beginning, Aries, I hope you go for it. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, that practical sun is in your sign, and so is Mercury, which is the planet of the mind, and they are being fortified or trined by Pluto in Capricorn. And that simply means that, yes, you could have your feet on the ground and your mind on long-term security, which is what Capricorn rules. And for that reason, you can be quite averse to taking any kind of gambles right now. Actually, nobody should take a gamble right now. And if somebody is talking about a future, it might be you that is pointing out all the roadblocks as far as expense goes. And so you could be really focused on how much things are costing right now, and you may decide to be a little bit more frugal and keep your hands in your pocket and not take any gambles and not spend a lot of money. And I think that's a good idea right now, Taurus. Now, don't bank on anything except your long-term security and your ability to make your own financial decisions, because you do have a good financial brain. So stick with that, no matter what else is alluring right now. I think that you need to hang on to your money if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, Mars is in your sign, and it's part of this grand trine in the air signs. And so the moon in Aquarius is trining your sun today, and so is Jupiter in Libra. And that simply means, Gemini, that you, since Mars is such an energetic planet, you can have a lot on your plate, a lot of ideas. You can be doing a lot of communicating. But you could also be getting support from someone who is a visionary, who is a little bit ahead of their time, and they can be interested in some of your ideas. It might even be a woman who can offer you enlightenment, because the moon is in Aquarius, but the moon rules women. And you can get a lot of help from willing partners right now, but Jupiter is retrograde, and so slowly things are turning around and will benefit you in a legal sense by the middle of June. And so if you could calm down a little bit, Gemini, and depend on the vision and the good communication skills of other people and be a little quiet right now, that would do you more good. Because remember, it's more important to have the last word than the first word. And that last word is something you could have by the middle of June. So I would not say too much right now, Gemini. Just wait until the middle of June, because I have a feeling then things are going to work out just right for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think things are not quite so stressful for you, because there are fewer planets in the cardinal signs in a harsh T-cross. There's only 4 right now. But Uranus and Venus, the 2 love planets in Aries, are squaring your sun. And so I think this is a time when somebody who wanted to make a new beginning before but wasn't able to do it is going to succeed now. So there is going to be something challenging and new facing you, Cancer, and it will be a little bit more on their terms than on yours. So you have to consider that. And then Jupiter in Libra is squaring your sun, which means that a legal matter or a partnership issue still isn't settled, but it probably will be by the middle of June. And then the thing that you really need to watch out for is that powerful Pluto, which is being trined by the Sun and Mercury in Taurus, is opposing your sun sign, which means that changes in management and in government policy will affect you. And the way that it will affect you is that these changes will be creating a more substantial path for large corporations and government agencies without asking for your input. In other words, you might be left out of a change or a merger and an acquisition. You just might be left out of that. And so you may want to consider working on making a dream come true, or else gracefully giving in to what other people want right now. And that way you can make your life a little less stressful as well. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is an absolutely terrible time to take a gamble, because the planets are piling up in fixed sign, and yours is a fixed sign. So the Sun and Mercury in Taurus are squaring your sun sign, and the moon in Aquarius is opposing your sun sign. What that means is that there's probably some very uniquely talented woman in your life that may leave. She may go on her own way. Maybe it will be to develop her career further. Could be a good reason for that. After all, that moon in Aquarius is being trined beautifully in a grand trine in air signs, but it could indicate a somewhat of a separation from somebody, or somebody moving on. What you need to watch out for is that the Sun and Mercury in Taurus are harshly squaring your sun sign, and so that indicates that there can be a larger expense coming up for you, Leo, or somebody could want to charge you the moon right now, or really charge you a lot for something, and so you have to be careful how you handle your money. And this is not a good time to take a gamble. But if you have taken a gamble lately, Leo, then this is the time when you're going to perhaps lose and have to pay for it. And so that could be expensive. All right, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when you do benefit greatly from the fact that the Sun and now your ruler, Mercury, are both in Taurus, trining your Sun, and Pluto in Capricorn is also trining your Sun. That's good. That means you've really got your feet on the ground, and there can be some very good financial news headed your way, Virgo. It could be about additional money coming in. It could be about the higher value of an investment, which could please you. It could also simply be that your pension fund or your retirement portfolio has gained in value as well. And it could also be that for one reason or another, there is more money coming your way. And I would describe it as very solid money. So lucky you, Virgo. You need to keep really quiet about that because Mars in Gemini is squaring your Sun. So is Saturn in Sagittarius, and they're both malefic planets. So if you talk about your good fortune, it's going to generate a lot of jealousy, and it's also going to generate grudges that other people can have against you. They could not be happy with your good fortune, so keep it to yourself if you can, Virgo. All right, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, there is a grand trine in air signs today, which is good because that can be lending you a lot of support. The moon in Aquarius is trining Jupiter in your own sign, and that energetic Mars in Gemini is also trining Jupiter. So with a grand trine in air signs, you can be very, very busy in planning things or scheduling things or in communicating with a lot of different people, and you can certainly be doing more than one thing, and so I'm sure you're very busy, Libra. At the same time, somebody can suddenly bolt or want to go off in a new direction. I think you're just going to have to let them go, Libra, because you are just really busy at the moment. And I think you can be very productively busy. So this is a good time for you to communicate with other people. And there can be somebody around, a visionary or somebody ahead of their time, that can be quite helpful to you in giving you guidance or advice. So I hope you listen to them. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this, just like Leo, this is a time when you should not take a gamble at all. But if you have gambled on anything, this is the time when you might have to end up paying up instead. And that is because that Sun and Mercury in Taurus are opposing your Sun sign. And remember, these are the two financial fixed signs. And also, the moon in Aquarius is squaring your Sun sign. So it simply means that some future plan that you have that may involve a move can be very challenging right now, and perhaps there isn't going to be enough favorable terms for you to go ahead with that. However, if you've taken a gamble on anything, then I think you're about to lose, or else you've already lost, and then you would have to simply pay up. So I think there is some financial news coming your way. It could be about taxes too. Maybe you just owe more taxes. But this is a time when you are going to have to pay out, and therefore I think that there's something sort of costly in your future right now, Scorpio, and the only thing you can do is sort of pay up and get over it. But this is not a time to take a gamble on anything. You would definitely lose. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, Saturn in your sign at 26 degrees is exactly trining Uranus in Aries, also at 26 degrees, and 26 reduces to 8, the number of success. So you can be rather successful right now, right out of the blue. Remember, Uranus rules sudden, surprising change. So there could be something rather innovative that, or somebody very unique that sort of knocks on your door right now, Sagittarius, because remember, Venus is also in Aries. That's the love planet, and it too is trining your Sun. So I think that before you move on to bigger and brighter things, you not only have to clear up something financial from your past, but that Mars in Gemini is opposing Saturn in your sign, and now these two planets have moved into a very close opposition to each other, which can signal danger. And so you are in danger from people who can be very malicious, or there is the possibility that there can be a lot of trouble or tension from young people, which is what Gemini rules, or from short journeys. So you have to be very careful at anything that looks as if it's coming a little too fast because it could be deadly. So try to stay out of harm's way, Sagittarius. But on the other hand, you could look for something wonderful on your horizon because it might just land in your lap very suddenly. The aspects are good for that. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, it's lucky for you that that Sun and Mercury in Taurus are trining your Sun where you have Pluto, because it simply means that you've got your feet on the ground and that there can be some good financial news headed your way, just as there could be for Virgo. And that financial news could involve the increased value of an investment, or it could simply be that there's more money coming your way for something either that you've done, so it could represent a raise of some sort, or it could be simply that there are conditions around caused by changes in management or changes in policies that reward you with more money in one way or another. So I think that that is very positive for you, Capricorn. At the same time, perhaps your love life is not going as smoothly as you would like because Uranus and Venus in Aries are squaring your Sun. So not all relationships are going to work out as smoothly as you would like, but financial things are going to work out pretty well. So I hope that you concentrate on that instead. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, the moon is in your sign today. So you have to take the good with the bad, Aquarius. The Sun and Mercury in Taurus are squaring that moon, and when the Sun and the moon square or oppose each other, that can lead to indecision or confusion. So you might be feeling that right now. You could be a little bit unsure about how much to pay for something, or whether you can afford something that is sort of pricey or expensive. And I would say at this time that you cannot afford things on the terms that you would like. And yet, you might want to be talking to an awful lot of people or gathering more partners. They could be investors, and that could help you with your financial difficulties. Or it can simply be that you want to straighten out a legal matter. That could work out because the moon in your sign is trining Jupiter in Libra, and it's also trining that Mars in Gemini. So I think you're busy, and if you're busy making deals right now, Aquarius, or forming pending plans, that would be a great idea. But if you're going to take a gamble on something, you're going to lose, so don't do that. And if you've got your eyes on something pricey, I don't think that it is easily affordable. And so you should sort of ask yourself how badly you want something right now, Aquarius, because a better time to pursue that would be this summer, particularly after Jupiter goes direct the middle of June. So if you could wait, that might be a little better for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time when there aren't any other planets in the water signs, so there's nothing fortifying your sign where you have Neptune. And unfortunately, since yours is a mutable sign, and there are 3 planets in mutable signs in a harsh T-cross, you could be meeting a lot of challenges right now, and they could be somewhat unpleasant. For instance, Mars in Gemini is squaring your Sun sign, and that means that even if you are experiencing some good fortune of your own, there can be very many jealous people. And also they could be telling malicious lies or gossip, either repeating something to you that is really not true, or they could be telling something about you that isn't true at all. So you need to turn your back on those people. Not everyone is your friend right now, Pisces. And then Saturn in Sagittarius is also squaring your Sun sign, and it simply is an indication, since Saturn is such a a strict taskmaster type of planet that you really have to sort of keep your nose to the grindstone and do everything, work hard and do everything by the rule book right now, because if you don't, you'll simply have to go back and do it over, and that would be a time waster. So you're under pressure right now and challenges, and there's nothing in the other water signs to fortify your sign, so you're really on your own right now. My advice to you is to be very, very careful when you're traveling. And that is because Gemini rules short travels and Sagittarius rules long travels. Either way, with these two malefic planets in those signs in harsh aspect to your own sun sign, you have to be very, very careful right now. And there's danger around, or there's treachery around. You cannot afford to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So do not take any chances with your own safety right now, Pisces, because it could be threatened and you could get hurt. So I hope you're just working away hard and being very, very careful and cautious. Don't believe all the lies people are telling you right now. Just try to sort of mind your own business if you can. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.